When couples decide to divorce, emotions run high and logic often takes a back seat. And right in the middle of all that chaos comes a document that can quietly shape your financial future, the alimony agreement. I've seen countless people rush to sign it just to get it over with. But trust me, that one decision can make or break your stability for years to come. So before you agree to any alimony offer, you need to understand exactly what's at stake. Let's break it down using the Kipling method. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. So you don't make a mistake you'll regret later. Let's start with the who. Who is really affected by alimony? Most people assume it's just about the person who pays or receives it. But in reality, alimony affects both parties and often their children too. For the paying spouse, it can become a long-term financial obligation that impacts every major decision: buying a home, retiring early, or even supporting a new family in the future. For the receiving spouse, it can mean security or dependency. I've seen people agree to small alimony amounts out of guilt or pressure, only to realize later that they can't cover their living expenses. And on the other side, some pairs agree to inflated sums just to avoid conflict, draining their finances for years. So when you think about who, remember, this isn't just about signing a paper. It's about setting financial boundaries for the next chapter of your life. Now the what. What exactly is alimony? A lot of people misunderstand it. Alimony isn't a punishment. It's not about rewarding one person or punishing another. It's designed to maintain financial balance after divorce, especially when one spouse has been financially dependent on the other. But here's the twist. The law gives courts a lot of flexibility in how they calculate alimony. It can depend on income, the length of the marriage, lifestyle, age, and even future earning potential. Some agreements are short-term, called rehabilitative alimony, meant to help the lower-earning spouse get back on their feet. Others are long-term, especially in longer marriages. Understanding what type of alimony is being discussed is crucial. You can't negotiate what you don't understand. Let's move to the when. When should you agree to an alimony offer? The simple answer: not until you've seen the full financial picture. I've seen cases where one spouse hides bonuses, stocks, or future income sources, making it look like they earn less than they actually do. Then, after the divorce, their income suddenly skyrockets. You need to see every income source, past and future. And timing matters too. For example, if you're negotiating before tax season, the numbers might look different than they do after tax adjustments. The when also refers to your readiness. Don't make this decision when you're emotional, exhausted, or pressured to just move on. Take your time. Alimony agreements are one of those things that are easy to sign, but extremely hard to undo. Next comes the where. Where does this agreement actually apply? Alimony laws vary wildly from state to state, and even from court to court. Some states are stricter, favoring fixed payments. Others are flexible, allowing modifications if your income or circumstances change. I've seen people move to a new state and suddenly find their old alimony terms no longer valid or enforceable in the same way. If you or your ex plan to move, for work or family, you need to consider jurisdiction. Also, where you finalize the divorce matters. Filing in the right county or state can completely change how the court looks at your case. Always make sure your lawyer knows local laws and how they interpret spousal support. Now, the heart of the matter: why? Why is this so important? Because alimony is not just about money, it's about power and future freedom. I've had clients who accepted unfair deals just to end the emotional pain faster. But months later, they felt trapped, unable to move, save, or rebuild. I once worked with a woman who agreed to a low settlement thinking she'd make up for it later. But after health issues, she couldn't work, and her small alimony check barely covered her rent. On the flip side, I've seen men agree to pay massive monthly sums without realizing they could have negotiated lump sum payments, saving themselves thousands over time. The why is simple, because what you agree to today could decide how freely you live tomorrow. Finally, let's talk about the how. How can you protect yourself before signing that agreement? Start by collecting every financial record, bank statements, tax returns, pay stubs, business income, investments, even retirement accounts. Transparency is your armor. Next, consult a financial advisor, not just a lawyer. A financial planner can project how the proposed alimony will impact your long-term future. Then, think about taxes. Some alimony payments are no longer tax deductible since the law changed in 2019. That means if you're the payer, you might be paying from your post-tax income, which can significantly reduce your take-home pay. And if you're the recipient, that money might not be taxed as income, which changes how you plan your budget. Another key step: put everything in writing. Never rely on verbal promises or understandings. Courts only recognize what's written and signed. Let's put this into perspective with a quick story. A client of mine, let's call him David, was desperate to settle fast. His ex's lawyer offered a fair deal: $2,000 a month in alimony for 6 years. David almost signed it. But after reviewing the hidden details, we discovered she'd received a $50,000 inheritance and owned half of a family business she never disclosed. With proper investigation, the court adjusted the terms, cutting the alimony in half. One small delay saved him nearly $75,000. That's how powerful knowledge can be. And then there was Sarah, a stay-at-home mom who'd been out of work for 10 years. Her husband offered her a lump sum instead of monthly alimony. It looked generous until we calculated taxes and realized she'd run out of money in just 2 years. By negotiating for rehabilitative alimony instead, she got financial support while she retrained for a career, securing long-term independence, not short-term comfort. Every decision you make in this stage needs to align with your future goals, not your current emotions. So before you agree to that alimony offer, remember this: once the ink dries, it's hard to go back. Don't let fear or fatigue push you into a deal that doesn't make sense. Understand who it affects, what it really means, when the timing is right, where the laws apply, why it matters, and how to protect yourself. Divorce may end a chapter, but alimony can shape the rest of the book. If this video helped you see things more clearly, don't forget to share it, because someone out there is about to sign a deal they don't understand. And remember, in divorce, knowledge isn't just